Hotel guests unknowingly drank water with dead body inside. Imagine taking a refreshing sip of tap water at your hotel, only for the familiar taste to be replaced by something unsettling. This wasn't just any hotel, it was the infamous Cecil Hotel in LA. And the unsettling taste wasn't a coincidence. It was 2013, and 21-year-old Elisa Lam, a tourist from Canada, had vanished within its walls. Weeks of frantic searching yielded no answers. Then, a horrifying discovery sent shivers down everyone's spine. The culprit behind the strange-tasting water wasn't a malfunctioning filtration system. It was far more sinister. A maintenance worker, called in to investigate complaints of low water pressure, made a gruesome find atop the Cecil Hotel, Elisa Lam's lifeless body floating in one of the water tanks. The mystery deepened with disturbing surveillance footage. The last glimpse of Elisa showed her behaving erratically in an elevator, pressing buttons repeatedly, darting in and out as if unseen forces were at play. The official verdict? Accidental drowning. But for many, the explanation left a bitter aftertaste, as murky as the water that had flowed through the hotel. The Cecil Hotel, already notorious for its dark past, became forever etched in infamy. Elisa Lam's case, with its unsettling twists and unanswered questions, continues to captivate and disturb, a chilling reminder that sometimes, the truth can be as murky as the water we drink. A woman who died twice. Enter Octavia Hatcher, a woman whose unfortunate fate would etch her name into the annals of history. It was the late 1800s when illness struck Octavia with a vengeance, casting her into the depths of a coma from which she seemed unlikely to awaken, and Octavia was pronounced dead, swiftly laid to rest in the cold embrace of the earth. But hold on to your seats, because this tale takes a sinister turn. Just days after Octavia's untimely burial, a wave of mysterious afflictions swept through the community, leaving others in comatose states eerily reminiscent of Octavia's own plight. Yet, unlike Octavia, these souls miraculously returned from the brink of death. It was then that Octavia's husband, gripped by a fear too ghastly to comprehend, took matters into his own hands. Convinced that his beloved wife had been interred while still clinging to life, he issued a chilling command: unearth her coffin, and quickly. And what they discovered within that grave was enough to send shivers down even the stoutest spine. Octavia, once vibrant and full of life, lay motionless, her features contorted in agony. Her fingers, now and bloody, bore witness to a desperate struggle against the confines of her tomb. It was a grim confirmation of the unthinkable. And so, with heavy hearts and a sense of dread hanging thick in the air, Octavia was laid to rest once more, her story etched into the fabric of folklore as a cautionary tale of the thin line between life and death. A faceless man was caught in real life. Deep in the shadowy embrace of Pennsylvania's backroads lurks a legend that chills spines and sparks curiosity. They call him Charlie No Face. But unlike your average ghoul, Charlie wasn't born of malice or moonlight. He was a man, Raymond Robinson, forever marked by a childhood tragedy. Raymond wasn't always a phantom. He was once a curious boy, his youthful face as innocent as the Pennsylvania countryside. But fate, as it often does, had a cruel twist in store. He was burned by high voltage when trying to climb an inoperative trolley line. It stole Raymond's face, leaving behind a horrific mask of scar tissue. Unable to bear the stares and gasps in the harsh light of day, Raymond retreated into the solace of night. It was under the cloak of darkness that he ventured out, seeking solace in the quiet hum of the highway. But whispers spread like wildfire. Truckers spoke of a faceless figure flitting by their headlights. Locals concocted tales of a vengeful spirit, a creature born of industrial accidents. Charlie No Face became a legend, his true story morphing into a cautionary tale for restless children and a campfire ghost story. Yet, beneath the layers of myth, there remained a man, a victim of circumstance, seeking solace in the quiet embrace of the night. The legend of Charlie No Face is a poignant reminder that sometimes, the monsters we fear most are born not from malice, but from the deepest wells of human tragedy. A carnival mannequin turns out to be a real mummified body. Imagine a carnival funhouse, the air thick with screams and the smell of popcorn. You reach out to steady yourself on a spooky prop, a dusty hanging figure, but instead of the expected cold plastic, Your fingers brush against something undeniably real. Panic rises as you see a horrifying truth: the mannequin isn't made of wax, but flesh and bone. This nightmare became reality for a film crew in 1976 at Long Beach's Pike Amusement Park. A seemingly routine shoot on a haunted ride turned into a macabre discovery. A broken prop arm revealed not fake materials, but real skin and bone. The mannequin was, in fact, the mummified corpse of outlaw Elmer McCurdy. McCurdy wasn't meant for a carnival freak show. He met his end in a violent shootout. A train robber brought down by the law. Embalmed and unclaimed, his body became a morbid display in a funeral home. A nickel in his mouth bought you a glimpse of the outlaw's demise. A cunning carny then snatched him away, weaving a tale of being a relative wanting a proper burial. But Elmer's rest was far from peaceful. He spent decades as a carnival attraction, his past forgotten, reduced to a spooky prop. The film crew's discovery finally exposed the truth. Elmer McCurdy wasn't a creepy decoration. He was a restless soul exploited for decades. He received a proper burial in Oklahoma, his grave sealed with a thick layer of concrete. Let's hope it's enough to finally keep Elmer McCurdy from his unwanted carnival tour. A skinned outlaw and his body parts taken as gruesome trophy. The Wild West wasn't always about dusty cowboys and saloons. Sometimes, it was a place where justice was brutal and the line between law and barbaric was blurred. Enter Big-Nosed George Parrot, a notorious outlaw whose demise took a turn even wilder than his crimes. George wasn't your average cattle rustler. Stagecoaches, trains, even the local sheriff and detective fell victim to his greed and violence. But comeuppance awaited. Caught and condemned to hang, Big-Nosed George met his end at the end of a rope. Here's where the story takes a gruesome turn. With no one to claim the body, two doctors saw an opportunity, or perhaps a chilling trophy. One examined the outlaw's brain, but the rest? Let's just say medical ethics went out the window. George's skin was ripped off, fashioned into a pair of shoes. Yes, shoes. And a macabre souvenir. Part of his skull became a gift for a medical student. The rest? Tossed into a whiskey barrel and buried. Today, you can visit the Carbon County Museum in Rawlins, Wyoming, and see those very shoes. A grim reminder that the Wild West wasn't always about shootouts at high noon, but a place where vengeance could be as ruthless as the outlaws themselves. The man who shocked the world. Imagine being in your kitchen, searching for a snack you bought, only to find it missing. This has happened not just once or twice, but over 1,000 times in every house in North Pond, Maine. Initially, people suspected a sneaky raccoon, as items like peanut butter, apples, snacks, socks, and fork were taken, while other valuables like wallets and jewels remained untouched. The answer, when it finally came, was stranger than fiction. Police didn't stumble upon a rogue raccoon, but a real-life hermit named Christopher Knight. This man, at the tender age of 20, vanished into the woods and lived undetected for a mind-blowing 27 years. He swiped what he needed to survive, a minimalist phantom haunting the cabins. The quirky case of the North Pond missing snacks finally had a face that had gone unseen for nearly 3 decades. Urban legend caught on camera. Forget Bigfoot roaming the woods. Switzerland has Loyon, a real-life mystery cloaked in, well, a cloak. This local legend has been spooking the residents of Mall for a decade. Imagine this. A tall figure emerges from the trees, not in a monster costume, but in a gas mask, boiler suit, and a cloak, a fashion choice fit for an apocalyptic runway show. Despite the intimidating getup, Loyon seems more like a shy neighbor than a bloodthirsty beast. No one has reported any aggression, and one witness even saw him holding flowers. The sightings were local whispers for years. But then came the proof, a photo snapped by a brave, or maybe very curious, observer. Loyon went from spooky campfire tale to documented enigma. Now, the question remains, who, or what, is lurking in the Swiss woods?